Murfreesboro, Tennessee again. You can tell. Look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. You can so tell. Here we are. Wow.
Hello everybody, we're going to look at a few things today. Obviously what Rich is talking about here, like in London, which I've talked about before, there is a radius of land in the middle of London and obviously there in America, and I wonder if that's what they're having problems with today, and that's why we're being put through all this, because obviously that is how big America is, because the rest of it is a corporation. There's another country in New York, there's another country in London. But anyway, thank you very much to that Rich for bringing that back to our attention, although I do talk about that a bit myself. Yes, I quite like this one as well, because basically keep mentioning that the Statue of Liberty, back to the Statue of Liberty, is built on a star fort. And I wanted to bring it to people's attention that in 1884, the French gave America the Statue of Liberty. I mean, in many places it says it was erected in 1880, so the dates don't match up, but that basically it was given to America. Okay, me and Amy don't believe that, but because obviously I was doing these with Amy last night, these pictures. Anyway, this whole bit next to the Empire State Building was Ellis Island, and I mean, I don't think America realised, but they've got their own little Venice. Yeah, it's smaller, but it's still man-made. It's still man-made land. You should hear how they did it. They just threw things in there. They just threw mud. They threw sacks. They stood on it and all that. But then they made this most amazing thing, which I don't believe. But anyway, I took this picture here to show you that at the bottom here, you can see that there's people. And I mean, up here in the pictures, you can only get about 3 or 4 people in the top bit. So no wonder they stopped people going up to the torch. You could only get a couple of people up there. They don't tell you that, they do that. It's that small that's why they don't have anybody up there, because they tried to make it so magnificent and big. I thought it was about 3 times the size of what it is now, especially as what they show in films. And I mean, look at Ellis Island. This is amazing. But you know what this place was? This is where they quarantined the adults and took the children in the 1800s. Quarantined the adults, took the children. Those children became the orphan children of the 1800s, and it's also on some kind of star fort. Look, you can see in the picture here, it's got those, you know, that's just the end, what's left of it. So the boats would come in, the people would get out, then they were all quarantined, and then the children taken. And what does that say? Ellis Island was a federally owned island in New York Harbour that was the busiest immigrant inspection station in the United States from 1892 until 1924. And then, of course, don't forget, you've got the First and Second World War with Hitler, then comes the blonde people, then comes the Aryan race, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So there's probably not much of a gap really between any of it with what they've been doing to us over the years. You know, there's no freedom in America. Anyway, there's no freedom anywhere. Anyway, this was quite amazing. This is a hospital on that island, Ellis Island, where they quarantined everybody. But they didn't have any square. All the corridor, everything was circular to stop disease. It's quite interesting, isn't it? That's why it's rounded. For that reason. So I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, half of it's in Manhattan, half of it's in New York. Crazy that, isn't there? This is a waterway. I mean, there must have been water there as well, yeah. There isn't now, but they don't use half the island, which is quite crazy. And there you go, it was a fort. So not only do you have a fort here, you have a fort where the Statue of Liberty was. There's forts everywhere. Like, why do you need forts everywhere? Anyway. there was a fort here. So that's what it originally was before they turned it into their, taking the people and taking the children. There you go. It was mostly man-made, and obviously it says there that half the island is deserted right now. I also had a fishing, a restaurant on there for the fishermen when it turned into that. Pirates were hung there on Ellis Island. That would have been fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, on to the next bit. Obviously, yeah, that's about the hidden station with all the trains, but we're not doing that today. And I wanted to say also, when me and Amy were looking the other day, that there are castles all round New York. I mean, this one's just not far from the Twin Towers. And then up the road, there's Bannerman Castle. There's 14 stunning castles hiding in New York, it says. I don't think Americans know. And there's Ellis Island. Yeah. It was quite amazing looking, though, originally. In the 1800s, it doesn't look like it does today, does it? It looks much more, I don't know, Russian-y and so forth. Or whatever. Anyway, that's another. Look at the size of that hospital. 1920s they had that. Look at the size of it. Anyway, that's somewhere else, but I just put that picture in because I'm, me. Anyway, there's a few more different pictures, and we're going to get onto something else in a moment. And look how they built that. How the hell did they build that on there? And I mean, things are just becoming a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And then I like what that person said. It's a takeover, just resets. They called it mud flood, but I think something did happen, because obviously the first video I put on with the lady showing the windows. Belgium is a big place. Oh, I like that one. Look at that. That is just incredible. I like that. I like that. I like it. Oh yeah, and then I was quite intrigued with this. This is the Niagara Falls, and they're saying in 1969 they stopped the water, and basically when they stopped the water and obviously looking, because they said they were looking to see if there's any damage, whether it needed to be mended, the whole thing. Underneath there was some bodies. That's what the made a stomach churning discovery. They found a few bodies. Me and Amy were looking at it yesterday. Yeah. It's quite amazing that when you stop the water, that's what it looks like. And basically, was it? I don't know. Anyway, as I said, there are castles everywhere, all over New York. Anyway, we're back to the Statue of Liberty now. Look how many people can get there in the head, around the crown. It's only that big. I mean, I remember films, it looks so big. Obviously lying. Look at that, you can only get a couple of people up there. So it's big, but it's not as big as they said it is. And once you realise that, you realise the fort couldn't be there. Oh yes, and look at this person, hey. He's all the way up there, sort of pivoting on some wooden things. Look at that. It's been just put over that, so it's not even safe. He's got no harness, no nothing. Look, bits of wood put over this, and then he's up there doing whatever it is, because it was a lighthouse originally, wasn't it? Nice to see the Twin Towers in the background there. But that's why they wouldn't allow many people up there, because look, you can't get many people up there. Seriously, by the time you got there, you'd have to walk round and walk down. There'd be no point. It would take all that effort to get up there just to walk round and walk down again. So that's why they stopped people. But they gave a different story, didn't they? Because me and Amy saw this and we thought, well, let's look into this a little bit, which you do. So in a minute, I don't know. Oh, here it is. This is it. Hang on, let's have a look. It can be. It's very good. According an explosion at this depot on a pier that connected Black Tom Island to Jersey City rocked the harbour at 2:08, killing several people and wounding hundreds. Ellis Island was evacuated, and windows as far as Times Square were blown out, according to New Jersey City research. Lady Liberty's arm and torch were injured by the flying debris. Germany had been... Really? What, all the way out there? Germany had been suffering financially and was angered for the US was aiding the British and French with ammunition, so it attacked. They never said that before, did they? Do you see what I mean? Our history is just changing all the time. So basically, you have had bombings and things going on around New York. It's not the only time, 9/11 and so forth. And then obviously Timothy McVeigh, but that's a load of rubbish. I've seen him as a woman. So we know what they do there. But yeah, so there you go. There was another time it was attacked. Crazy. Or what? Anyway, in that bit there, they're starting to explain that obviously people don't go up to the torch anymore. But you can see why they don't go up to the torch. There's another bit there. You can stop and read these articles if you want. But it's obvious why nobody went up there. Because imagine 500 people walking up and they get to the top and they walk round and they walk down again. And there you go. That's a bit about the explosion. But that's not true, is it? They always have to make these stories up to lie to us. And I mean, you know, that statue looks quite big, doesn't it? But I just don't know anymore. I mean, you can see the head there looks as big as a tree. I don't know. I don't understand it all now. But they're making that thing where the torch is much bigger. But I've seen it. Is it How Harry Met Sally? And there it is again, a bit more information about the fact that France gave it to America. France gave it as a present to America. Can you believe that? And look, there you go. The statue is at least half the size of the island. So how could they get all those buildings on there? They even had some in front of the star. There you go. Look at it. It looks like a great big complex, but it isn't. Couldn't have been. Those buildings would have been minuscule, tiny, whiny. Ridiculous. Isn't that ridiculous? Just ridiculous. Anyway, I've stuck a few more pictures in, as I do. I came across these, so I thought I'd stick them in. I love my Tartaria pictures. Oh, that's good. That's not Tartaria, but you can eat dandelions. I'm sure Lisa would like that. She'd probably be making soup out of it. We've had nettle soup, me and her, when she came to stay. Look at those organs. Just look at the size of them. Just incredible. Now my daughter's doing her hair, but we're finishing now. And look at that. What is that? Person wants to know more information because that seemed to go round and round. I mean, maybe it was a concept, maybe it never happened. I thought that was quite interesting. Anyway, thanks very much for watching and hopefully you like this video.